righty. Well, good evening. Good evening. I know it's late for some of you, but this is the time that we were able to get it in. So first things first, this will be recorded because we're going to use this for training material later. Okay. You guys okay?
Yes.
Yes.
All righty. So who do we have here? Introduce yourself, where you are, and if you're a part of a team.
Well, I'm Karen Reedy. I am in Alabama. I am partnering with Kiara Perry, my daughter.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yes, I go next. I'm Twana, and I am partnering with Dana and Renata.
Okay.
And I'm Dana Bakari. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and partnering with Twana and Renata.
All righty. And Kiara, is she here?
Kiara, you on? Can you?
Or is she in listen mode?
She might be in listen mode.
Okay. She says she's unable to unmute. Got it. All righty. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump in, and Kiara, just if you have questions, put them in the chat. And that way we know everyone's here and everyone's answering questions. So what we are doing today is covering, I call it strategy number 4. So for a lot of you, you might know or recognize or have seen that I will create exit strategies for every investment property that I'm touching or, you know, coaching on or whatever it is. And so this particular exit strategy is designed for this particular development. So it's not necessarily going to be used on other ones. And which is why when people were saying, oh, I want to get in and I want to, you know, learn about it, it's not feasible to teach, you know, different strategies for properties that they aren't even going to use it on. So this particular strategy, again, is for the Perla development, and it's specifically for the 2-bedroom single family house. Okay. So it's not the 2 and 3. You can use it for the 2 and the 3 bedrooms, and you can use this on other things, but I wrote this out specifically for that. And so the reason why I'm doing it this way is so that when we go back and people want to see what the other strategies are for, let's say, a 6-plex or, you know, a duplex, there are different strategies for different things. And so it's sometimes easier to break them down based on the type of property rather than just in a big picture kind of way. Big pictures are great if you're teaching to a big audience, but because we have the time and we can narrow this down, it's easier to do it this way. And then once you guys get the gist of it, you can apply this to other things that you guys are doing. Okay, so the key to this, as with anything that I'm teaching, is so that one, you understand the concept so that you can apply it later. It will make more sense to you now because now you're applying it to your own property. And so when you apply something to your own property, it tends to ring different bells than if you're just reading something that doesn't really apply. So I am going to walk you guys through the numbers. So get your calculators out. This is a participation kind of thing. So you're going to need your calculator, or if you count on your fingers and toes, you got to bring those out or whatever it is. And we're going to go through some math stuff together. And then I'm going to put it on a screen so that you guys can see what it is you were doing. And then we can go through those numbers again. Anyone know why I'm making you guys do it this way?
So we can learn.
Yep. And also because adult learners learn in different ways. So
Wow.
some of you are learners who can listen and learn. Some of you have to write it and do it to learn. You know, some of you have to read it. There are different kind of learners. And so you guys will see me talking more about that. And that's one of the reasons. But just like goals, when you write them down, they tend to stick a little better when you're writing something and not just looking at it. So you guys ready?
Yes.
All righty. So on a 2-bedroom property, we will start with $125,000. Okay, so you guys should have seen that number. You have a property that's in mind because we've been putting that picture of that sample property if you got to get a visual. So in the Dominican Republic, this home we know we're going to sell at 2 bedrooms will be listed at $125,000. So if you guys have already said, I'm going to invest in a 2-bedroom, this is where we are, 125. Now, as a developer, you guys get the 10% discount. So 10% of $125,000 is what?
112,500.
Correct. So that $12,500 is what that 10% represents. So now the purchase price of the property for you is $112,000 and $112,500. Okay. So we have that number that we're going with. We're going to put those numbers aside, or you write whatever you need to write next to it. Now, the next number you got to know is a 25% increase in value. And that number comes from us looking at what are new construction prices rising in certain markets by the time construction is finished in a project. So when we ran the numbers in like Maple Beach, we found that those numbers were around 41%. So by the time you started on a new construction project, and by the time it was finished, we were calculating right now we're at 41%. So we know it may be higher for Maple Beach. So I took a conservative number of 25% and then said to the salespeople in that area, is 25% a good number I can use for this? Yes. And so that's where we got a 25% increase. So what we're saying here is that the property we purchased at 125,000, the value, or for you guys 112, but we're going to use this $125,000 number. By the end of the project, another 2-bedroom is built. That 2-bedroom will have a 25% increase. Got that?
On the 125?
Off the 125. So that 125,000 we're multiplying by that 25%.
31,250.
Correct. So now we're taking that $31,250 and adding that to $125,000.
156,250.
Correct. So we are at $156,250. We're good?
Yes.
Now we're going to take that $156,000, 156,250 minus $112,500. And what is your number there?
43,750.
Okay. So we all have those numbers and we all understand those numbers.
Yes.
So what does the $43,750 represent?
Profit.
A profit.
That's right.
We like that.
That's your profit. Now, that's only one strategy. I have a dual strategy on this one unit. So if you like that 43,000, then get ready for these numbers. Okay, so I want y'all to circle that 43 because on my slide, everything that's your money is in blue. So when it comes back up, you'll know that's my money. That's my money. That's my money. Okay, so circle that 43,750, put it in, you might want to put it in green or whatever, but that's your money. And that's also considered a flip. You can flip that property before you even have keys in hand. Because the key piece to doing this with a developer who was allowing you to pay it up is by the time it's built, it's already paid for. So at any given time, you guys could flip it or sell it, or you can wait to the end and sell it as well, or whatever it is.
Oh, so we don't even have to make it to the end.
You don't.
We are, but I was just.
Yes, I'm just saying at any given time on any kind of new construction, you don't have to make it to the end. You could sell it to an investor who's coming on, who maybe you found over in the US who wants a property.
Nice.
You could sell your property right now to somebody for 125 and still make 12.5 because you got the discount. You got the discount right now.
Okay.
And so for those who are international sales agents, you have a property, you have people you're bringing over to show property. You've got $12,500 sitting in your equity of your property as soon as you sign your contract. Okay, so now that's one strategy over there. Y'all can think about that and let that rest. But this one over here, we're going to play a little differently, and I'm going to have to bring it up on the screen. So, nope, that's not it. That's not the one I was looking for. How did my hand? Okay, let's see this one. Why is this doing this? Maybe I have too many things up. Let's try it again. And maybe I'm seeing something different. What do you guys see?
Example, 2-bedroom, 125.
Okay, we're in business. So on the left, we just did. I want to take 5 seconds to look at that left so y'all can see it in writing. So that's exactly what you guys did on the left. Now we're going to swing to the right. And on the right side, I want you guys to notice 156,250. Remember, that's our new sales price with our 25% increase, right?
Right.
Now I'm saying to my end user, because who would you sell this property to? Because it's going to be some different numbers based on what you have. And this is where it gets fun and you get to play with these numbers and do all kind of stuff. So now we're talking about building this, not just your play money, but also the money that you're going to leave for that legacy that we always talk about. Okay. So who would you, if you were selling this property, Tawana, who would you have in mind to sell this property to? And Karen, you may have someone different. So
investor.
Okay, so Tawana, we have investor. Karen, who do you have? You have an investor you thinking about? Or were you thinking about you were holding it for yourself?
I was thinking about holding it for myself.
Okay, so holding it for yourself, you're looking at renting it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to play the third person that has an interest in this property. And it is the owner occupant,
Oh.
a person who lives there,
Mm-hmm.
or an investor. So I'm going to use those two who want the long-term investment in the property, not that wants the rental income. Okay. That's a different strategy. We'll do one of those another time. So my purchase price for said property now is $156,250. And now I'm saying to the person who wants to live there with their family or an investor that I will owner finance this property for you.
Mm.
And that's where you get the 30% down.
And my number to do that is I want 30% down.
Oh, wow.
Yours could be 20, yours could be 15. You could decide on whatever, everything over here on your right, you can adjust and do whatever you like. I put it here that I want 30% down in cash, non-refundable. That's why it's blue.
My money.
So what's a good rule of thumb though, when you are doing like the owner finance? Is 30 a good?
There is no rule of thumb. It's up to you as the investor of what you want to do.
Okay.
So 30% down. And now my balance, because I'm taking that 46,875 from my 156,250 or whatever. And my balance on here is 109,375. Okay. So you guys know who sell real estate. You know, if you sold any real estate, if you purchased any real estate, that when you go into the lender and you get a loan for 156,250, you put 30% down or whatever it is, you have a 30-year note. And here, if I'm selling to an owner occupant, my interest rate is 5%. Maybe that's what I'm offering. They will have a mortgage payment that would include whatever that number is. That's why you see that $1,000 per month, even though when you do the amortization calculator, pull one of those up, you'll see that it's $585.15 is the payment that they have to give. But anything over that is all of the interest and everything else that comes in there. So at the bottom line, guys, the interest that's paid on a 30-year mortgage at 5% is $101,998.51.
That's on top of your 109.
That's only on 109. That is correct. Now, Tawana, the investor, wants to do an owner finance because look at how many people want to finance a property. Right?
Right.
As an investor, does anybody remember how much it costs for interest at one of the international banks for an investor?
I don't.
I don't either.
It was like 17%.
Oh, wow.
God.
So even if you said to said investor, we're going to do 20 years or 15 years at 10, 15, or 12%. Now you're recalculating those numbers and more or less probably getting that, if not double, depending on your terms. So your other homework that you might want to do is just pull out an amortization calculator so you can play with those numbers. You got a property at 156. If you put 20% down and you do 20 years or 30 years at 5% or 10%, because now in this sector on the right side, you guys are the bank for 15, 20, 30 years. So you're making money from the mortgage payments, and you're also making money from the interest payments. And you're also making money from the down payment. And if they can't make their payments and the house has to be taken back, you start that process all over again.
Mm.
So we get the 47,000, I just rounded up,
Mm-hmm.
the 109,375 plus the 101,998 and 51 cents on top of that.
Mm-hmm. And anything you're making monthly.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
Because I don't know what you may be doing in your monthly numbers. I don't know what you guys decide to do there. Just like I don't know what any of your terms are going to be. I'm just using an example for you guys to go back and
okay.
figure out, because as partners, when you first said, hey, yeah, we're going to do this, you may have been looking at this as, I'm going to hold this as a long-term rental, or I'm going to do this, and okay, I'm going to hold it as a long-term rental, but maybe I need to get another one because I want to do this over here or this over here. What happens is you didn't see some of these strategies because they just weren't in front of you. And when you sit back and you look at it, Karen, who sees the stuff every day, but you see it from another set of eyes, you're not looking at it from, you are the bank. If I put myself in the space that I'm the bank, then those numbers over there. So like for us, what we decided to do is like, hey, we have a couple of these properties. Those will, all of those mortgage and interest payments, those all go into the trust account for the grandkids whenever they get here. So they got 20 years of interest payments on 4 or 5 properties. And that's good for them. So we get to spend all of our money. Any money we earn currently, doing anything currently, is all ours. That's the inheritance money. We ain't got to touch that. We ain't got to worry about it. See them later.
Nice.
Easy enough?
Easy
Yeah,
enough.
I like that one.
I want to make sure we didn't lose sister daughter because I can't see any chats or anything.
You good, Kiera?
Yeah, she didn't put anything in the mute thing.
Yeah, she is.
She says, I'm here. So on any property that you guys are, and this is only done if, you know, on the left side of the screen, is if you're working with new construction developer and stuff like that, and you can get discounts or whatever it is, you can negotiate all of that. A lot of times people want to do these kind of flips, but you can't get a developer to allow you to come in at this rate because like right now they don't need to. They're selling them at their top dollar. On the right, you can use this same strategy with any kind of property, but here is just specific to this one, just so that we don't start adding too many questions on, well, what if you do it this way? No, that's not what we're doing today. Just try to keep it just for the 2 bedrooms in Perla, just so 2 and 3 bedrooms in Perla, so you guys can get an idea. So what questions do you have pertaining to this example? Because again, it was just that simple and that's it.
At this time, I really can't think of any questions that I would have. Like you said, it was that simple, but I'm just finding a hard time believing it's that simple.
Right.
I always want to give me a minute while I overthink it a little bit.
That's right. And so here's where we are with this and why I tell you guys, you're now having different conversations. So when you are at Teach at the Beach, the conversations with the other ladies at Teach at the Beach who are on this project go around this. Like, what other ideas did you come up with? Or whatever, you know, the conversations are different. We ain't talking about, you know, the bonnet or whatever somebody else was talking about on TV or whatever. We're talking about getting after this $200,000 that's sitting on this property over here,
right,
in interest payments, because that's a whole different game over there. Okay, so that's why I say when you get around other like-minded people who are doing something similar to what you're doing, you have no choice but to level up. Your conversations are different. So everybody who is in Perla group has now went through this Example, this is the kind of conversations y'all need to be having. Period, simple, whatever.
Okay.
And brainstorming around this kind of stuff. Not, I don't know what y'all did, with your cousins and stuff last week and what y'all were talking about. But this over here is this is what me and my girlfriends do. So if we ain't talking about this or we don't have some of those things in common to talk about, then I'm like, okay, I'm out. I'll see y'all later. Because I know in a couple of years, or I can go to the vault and take 30,000 out and say, let's go do this, or let's invest in something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or as I said with my kids, when I show them this, I'm like, this is what are we doing for your kids? Just so that y'all know, y'all won't see any of their money. It'll be right in the trust, right for them. Don't look for it. Those kind of conversations, because it's about building wealth for that next group, that generational wealth, while we're out here doing 9-to-5 stuff or whatever it is. Our other hustles don't have to stop. We just have to change how we're investing and start investing. So yes, it's just that easy, Karen. It's just that in our line of work as real estate agents, we weren't trained to think from that side. We are trained to sell the property, and we're trained at a level of, we see a house for 125, let's make 3% off of that.
So depending on how fast you sell it, let's just say, back to that first example, if we sold it and went ahead and made the 43, we could jump back in and actually get probably 2 to do the second.
Mm-hmm. And so if I did the 125 at what agents are trained at, and this is why you have to move from the agent brain to the investor brain, 125,000 times what, 3% is 3750. And as an investor, we walking already in talking about 43,000 or somewhere in that ballpark.
Right.
Or go to the other side where the other money is. So yes, you can
Just right.
sell it off, do something else to, whatever. And that's why part of us going to, like when we get to the Dominican Republic for the tour, the investment tour in October, when I do masterminds and things like that, it's to focus on how are you going to best utilize your connections, your links, the knowledge you have to make this make sense, because it doesn't make sense if you can't pull this off by using your traditional, whatever your sales skills are. There are investors who want to buy an Airbnb property who need a loan, who want to finance it. So why wouldn't they be financing, coming in and saying, well, I'll finance you. You can get this one financed 30% down, get their 46,875 from them, or 20% or whatever, take that money and put it down on one of the new ones, which is, it would still be yours until they paid it off.
And that they don't pay for it, and then you turn
You
around
still keep it.
Right.
You already got your 46, so do it again. So just some ideas for you guys to, and because like Tawana and Dana, they're not real estate agents, and Kiara, so they don't have that box that we've been taught to stay in from an agent. Karen, you're gonna have to work a little harder on the mind shift.
A whole lot harder, apparently.
Just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Is just tweaking. And when we do those masterminds in DR, I'll show you some other things that you can use. But it's sometimes tell me what the issue is, and then I can bring it and say, okay, this is how we can solve that. Yes, Tawana, I'll take your question before we wrap up.
Okay. So being an international agent, and I bring somebody in And I get the 13, well, the 12.5.
Yeah, you get the 12.5 on your unit that you just purchased because you
So
get a
that's
10%.
automatic.
That's automatic. You guys already are at the table for 10% return or a
Mhm.
10% discount on your unit. You choose which one you want. And because people are choosing the property is why I'm showing you what you can do with the property. So yes, you could bring somebody over and sell your unit if you wanted to. That's up to you.
Okay,
And then make the 12,500 right there.
gotcha.
And
Okay,
if people were paying attention, that's what I would be doing. Because if I'm going to buy there, then I know somebody else is going to buy there. And why not go ahead and make a 10% commission? If I'm, that's
exactly.
12.5 for
So
me.
the commission there is 10%?
Well, it's your discount.
Okay.
Remember your discount is
Developer discount?
Got it. Okay.
you got the developer discount. So if you wanted to go right in there right now and sell a unit at 125,
Then you get that. Okay.
so it's no longer a discount, it turns into your commission because you're selling it to them.
Got it.
Okay,
So that's why I said there are all kind of strategies at every level, but what happens is you start putting them all in your head, then it's like, oh my gosh, it's too much. So yeah, that is a strategy for a real estate agent, Karen, is that they could come in and get their 10%, but there's some other stuff that they can do, but we won't go into all of it because I'm trying to separate the trainings for each one.
that was good.
So you either get the 10% equity, or we can keep it until the end and get the 43,750 profit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the thing is, we have to keep it until the end, right?
Or I don't know. Dana, you can sell it to somebody for 156, 250 if they buy it. I'm like, if I have an investor, I'm going, hey, I got a property at 156.5. You want to put 20% down, and then when it's built, I mean, you can do anything.
Okay.
So those are some things we need to start thinking about, Tawana.
That's exactly right. That's why we're doing the strategy session so that partners can go back and say, hey, I like that, or I didn't like that, or whatever. And you guys can go and get this video sent back to you. But Carmine is going to clean it up, and then I'll have it posted anyway, but you can ask for the replay if you need to go back over and listen again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is what I'm talking about when I say it's time for us to be the bank.
Right.
This is the kind of bank I'm talking about. We want all the interest payments.
Yes.
All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later.
Thank
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.